1st of January 2021, I planted this little tree, and I posted this photo that I'm showing you now on the screen. I posted this photo on a WhatsApp group, and I said there, I just planted this little mesquite tree, the 1st of 2021. May it be a beacon of hope and light in a time of darkness. And then the whole world lost their minds. I was immediately told that it is an invasive weed. I need to Google it. Okay, and then some people started weighing in as well on the other hand and were sort of defending me, and I was at that point completely unaware of it. I wasn't checking the WhatsApp all the time. I was doing other things. And then a guy came and he said, "Oh yeah, but it is invasive in Morocco," and well, I'm not in Morocco. And then this one lady said, if a plant is invasive in one location, it very often is in other locations. There are so many local plants that one can plant. Now, there are two statements there. The second one is absolutely right. There are many local plants that I can plant. That's true. I don't dispute that. But if a plant is invasive with one location, it very often is in other locations. That is just not true. That's demonstrably not true. Some plants just cannot survive in certain areas. For example, here in the Western Cape, we have winter rainfall and extremely hot, dry summers, high winds, and many plants just cannot survive through the summer here, unless you make some really special, take some really special precautions, or you irrigate or anything like that. But most plants have a hard time in this Mediterranean type of climate. So that is demonstrably absolutely not true. And then the discussion carried on into so many different directions. People talked about the completely indigenous diet, and this one lady said, yeah, in that case they just planted and managed on a farm. Just look at how many ornamental plants have become huge problems. Invasive species cause problems all over the world. We cannot ignore it. Yeah, people cause problems. And how do we know when a thing is invasive? When there was, we're going to be looking in this series a little bit later on into some studies that have been done, in which there's, for example, whole ecosystems, like on Ascension Island, consisting only of what we call invasives. And I stopped using the word invasive. I talked about, I like to think of them as migrants. And I stopped using the term aggressive, because those are all military terms. And I just like to think, if we're going to be calling it aggressive, maybe it's just another word for successful. So we're going to be looking at all of these things. I never realized when I posted the photo that I was going to open up this can of worms. And I spent the last 6 months reading books, looking at some studies, and making up my own mind. And this series is going to be about that. So we're going to be calling it invasion biology, and we're going to be looking at the origins of this thing from Mr. Elton. Was a dude, I think his name was Elton. Was a dude who used to catch mice and rats in order to protect food during the Second World War. And he wrote a book in 1953, I think it was. And anyway, we're going to look at all of that. And so at one point in this discussion, I said, so show me one, because then they said, oh, you got to plant indigenous. I said, so show me one nitrogen fixing, and remember we're talking about a mesquite tree here. So show me one nitrogen fixing, edible, medicinal, bee feeding, drought tolerant, firewood and biochar producing, quick growing, biomass producing, wind resisting indigenous tree that keeps intruders out and grows pods with 16% sugar that I can feed to animals and ferment into alcohol to clean wounds, dissolve grease, drink in tinctures, or for my own enjoyment, and I'll plant it. In the meantime, I'll plant these successful little guys. While you're searching for that, please also read Inheritors of the Earth for a non-biased scientific perspective. Also throw out everything in your fridge except watermelons. There's nothing in there is indigenous. Guys, we're going to be looking at the books. We're going to have one just about the books that I read about, that I'm basing a lot of my information on. And I'll be showing you, the books as well, and going deeply into them. I'm going to be drawing heavily on these books. From Gaia's Garden through Inheritors of the Earth, down all the way to the New Wild, and Beyond the War on Invasive Species, and what's the other one I'm busy with now? I can't even remember all of the books now. But I acquired all these books and I'm going to be sharing this knowledge with you guys, and it's a lot of information. And so all of those people who went so crazy on the 1st of January, instead of celebrating life and enjoying the day and thinking about all the cool things that you could do in the new year, you decided to come and spend your whole day in a negative space. Thank you for that, because you inspired me to start this entire series. And everybody in here, I hope you guys are going to be able to enjoy getting all this new information as much as what I enjoyed acquiring it. Take care. Lots of love. Bye. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this, remember to like and subscribe. Bye.